All right, Dr. Breakthrough. Now, I have seen you in a number of networking events about the great discovery, and I love your background. I love your energy. You've told your life story about your beautiful wife and your love story and your great children and your 10th degree black belt background, and you are a peak performer. And I've been interviewing peak performers since I was with NBC in New York, and I'd love to hear your energy, but I also want to hear about your life now in martial arts. Are you going through any pain? What are you feeling? Because it's all about being a peak performer, no matter what. If you're feeling pain or not, you got to break through. So tell me about you. Tell me about your background. Tell me about your love about the great discovery.
Well, first of all, man, it's a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure to be on here with you. And thank you again for the service that you bring to humanity because my story is simple. Every master was once a mess. Therefore, every mess can one day be a master. Now, whenever a mess becomes a master, they now have a message that they market to the masses. They can make millions, and that's my story. So, going from the projects in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 3 years of age, dad left, never called, never sent mom a dime. 6 years of age, being beaten up, tarred, and feathered by a teenage gang, thrown out in the middle of a field, literally left to die. Went through sexual abuse and physical abuse and verbal abuse and obviously racial abuse and all that. Tried to commit suicide on 2 occasions before I was even 12 years of age. And I tell people I'm so glad I failed. But I had a Popeye moment where I said, I stands all I can stand, and I can't stands no more. I'm tired of getting bullied all the time. I'm tired of getting beat up and chased home. I'm tired of being told I'll never amount to be anything. I'm going to do something. And when I made that decision, I teach people powerful from my 21-day breakthrough challenge. Once I make up my mind to do something, God orchestrates circumstances to align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But when I ask, how can I? My mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There's a way and I will find it. And if not, I'll just invent it. So I didn't understand that back then, but that still played in my little mind when I made up my mind. And all of a sudden, my mom wants a free month of karate lessons. I go with her. I'm watching her kicking, screaming, chopping, hollering. Her free month runs out. And so she starts paying her money. Free is good, but when you're serious, you're willing to invest. And she got better and better until one day she got too good. What's too good? Her and her boyfriend got in a fight and she knocked him out. So when I saw my 5'1" mom knock out a 6'1" guy, I was like, man, I don't know what this karate stuff is, but this is what I got to learn. And so I started working out 4 hours a day. I mean, Monday through Saturday, just giving it everything I had until one day I became the Pennsylvania Tri-State champion. And it was just incredible. But the discipline and just giving it everything I had. And then, of course, once you have you get a competent in something. Now it raises your confidence because I used to be very quiet, believe it or not, and didn't believe in myself. My wife wouldn't believe me for many years until finally we met somebody that knew me way back then, right? And so, but again, my story is I was a nobody that God and I made into a somebody. And now I'm committed to telling everybody he can do the same, if not more, for anybody. And the great discovery, the reason it's so powerful to me is because the thing I discovered, because, Michael, I never believed in myself. And so the only time I did anything is when somebody like you, somebody outside of me that somehow saw something in me, I would give it a shot just for them. Not for me. I knew it wouldn't, but for them, I didn't want to let them down. And it would shock me when it would work. I was like, wow. And after doing it enough times, I said, I might as well, why not just go ahead and believe in myself, right? And of course, then became a Bible believer. And the scripture, Psalm 56:9, when I cry unto thee, then shall my enemies turn their back. This I know, for God is for me. When I started realizing God was for me, I was like, man, this is it now. But anyway, so the great discovery, though, because again, to me, it was a great discovery when I finally realized that I had gifts and I had talents and I had abilities. And I mean, this guy that thought I could never do anything, I never even thought I'd make it out of high school, much less graduate top of my class, go off to college, graduate who's who in American college and universities, do my postgraduate work, become a professor, right? Travel the world, speak in all 50 states and 28 countries. And I've been blessed to been paid as much as $1,000 a minute, not hour, a minute, right? But again, I started off a mess and I didn't know any of this was in me. And again, through life and through personal growth and development and being exposed to, again, if I could have been exposed to the great discovery back then, matter of fact, I call the great discovery the great breakthrough, because here's what I want people to understand. Inside of each person, my wife, I call her my ABCD, adorable brown caramel delight. And years ago, we were traveling. I said, baby, do you know you're God's treasure chest? She said, that sounds good, but what does that mean? I said, inside of you, he put jewels and gems and gifts and talents and abilities. I said, but the treasure chest, if you keep the lid closed, it won't help anybody else. So you got to crack it open so the brilliance of those jewels can shine out and encourage and inspire the people. She's like, wow. And so when I got to thinking, even in the Bible, Adam, when God made Adam, he said, Adam needs help. And God says, I'm going to make a help meet for him. But where was the help? The help was already in him, but he didn't know it. And it was a painful process when God reached down inside of the man and pulled out of the man what was in the man that the man didn't even know what was there. And so through the great discovery, I've been preaching and teaching and encouraging, exhorting, and mentoring and coaching. But now I've got a proven track, a systematic system that I can walk people through to help them, number one, discover their greatness that's already in them. Because Les Brown and I would share the platform many times, and he'd always say, there's greatness in you. And I was like, that's a nice little motivational speech, right? And then one day I'm reading 1 John 4:4, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not a motivational thing. That's actually, that's based on biblical scripture. And since I'm a minister, I'm like, man, that's powerful. And then, so I said, you know what? So the great discovery now is allowing me, get this now, proven track where I can help people, number one, discover, but not only that, then develop, and then deploy or display, and now even monetize their greatness. Because one man or woman's quote unquote junk is another man or woman's treasure. And sometimes, Mike, here in the US, like when I first started speaking in the US, it was like I was okay because you got too many options. First time I went out of the country, they treated me like I was a superstar. I was like, whoa. The next time I went out of the country, they treated me like I was a double superstar. I was like, oh my goodness. And then it dawned on me, I like going out of the country. That's like my field of favor. Now through the great discovery, they take my message and they can translate it up to 100 languages. And now the affiliates, instead of me being the only guy marketing my stuff, affiliates now help me market my content in up to 200 countries. Are you kidding me? My wife said, baby, you're like a hobo that finds a place to feed you and puts a big X out front and go, hey, everybody, they got food over here. Because I got so excited, I just started telling my speaker friends and minister friends, martial arts friends, I was like, dude, you could teach martial arts online to people in different countries and speak their language with perfect lip sync, not the old karate movies where the mouth was moving, right? And so, yeah, I'm very excited. The other night I'm sleeping and somebody somewhere sold my course and I got paid. So, and I don't know about you, but most of us, it's easier for us sometime to promote somebody else than to promote ourselves. Well, guess what? Now I get to promote a Les Brown or I get to promote a Myron Gold, and I get to promote other people, and I still get paid. So and I know I got to quit here soon, but real quick, the competition is the way of the jungle, right? The animals, they compete and fight. That's the way of the jungle. Cooperation is the way of civilization. But watch this, collaboration is the way of the kingdom, and the way of the kingdom is the fastest and most lasting success. And that's the principle that the great discovery is founded upon. Every other company always said, look, we want you, your Dr. Breakthrough LLC company, we want you with all your influence. Sell our product, promote our thing, and we'll pay you. The great discovery says, no, we're not going to use you to build our company. Our company is about building you and promoting your platform and your message, and both companies grow together. Now, like my wife, again, my ABCD, we always say if it's not win-win-win, we're not in. But whenever it's win-win-win, we're all the way in. So I'm all the way in the great discovery. And by the way, I'm 63 years wise, not old, 63 years wise. But, I juice every day. I put great stuff in my temple, my body temple. I walk every day. For instance, so far today, I've done 11,000 steps. And so I thank God I don't have, that's a little over 5 miles. So I don't have any pain. Of course, I do, a lot of things that other people don't do. And I'm very blessed I take several health, all nutritional products and so forth, and exercise in my mind. Every day I say, thank God, thank you, Lord, that the rejuvenating, revitalizing power, your power, flows through my veins like a mighty river, vitalizing, transforming, and restoring every atom of my being so that every cell submits to the resurrected, abundant, life-giving Christ. And I say that over and over again, and I believe that helps to rejuvenate my cells. And so, and also, I keep humor to stay alive and to stay vivid, rather. And I constantly read and memorize because that's what helps keep the mind fresh. And I'm going through the Great Discovery course, by the way, and I've had 3 major breakthroughs, and I'm Dr. Breakthrough. So if it helps me, it can help you. So I got to close with this, though. I always give a disclaimer. I can't provide a breakthrough as Dr. Breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. But when people follow the breakthrough prescription, God provides it. And somebody watching us is going to have a bumblebee breakthrough right now. You say, what's a bumblebee breakthrough? The bumblebee aerodynamically, it shouldn't be able to fly aerodynamically. Why? His wings are too small in proportion to his body being so big. But because the bumblebee either doesn't know that, number one, or number two, doesn't believe that, he flies anyway. And I'm telling you, through the great discovery, I call it the great breakthrough, we're going to have people have a bumblebee breakthrough in spite of the fact they've been told what they can't do, who they can't, they'll never amount to this. No. We're going to break through all that, help you to discover the greatness that's in you, my friend, and then monetize it and have other people. So it is the greatest breakthrough, I say, in education, the greatest breakthrough in communication, the greatest breakthrough in personal development and personal growth. So I love it.
Dr. Breakthrough, you are a minister, you are an educator. Now, I've learned through my life that there are guardian angels all around us. I've had more guardian angels help me through my life when I most needed them, including my wife. I lost my health. My wife was there for me. I gained my health back, and I become a peak performer. It's not about what you've lost, but what you have left and making the most out of it. Now, what we need now, we need AI guardian angels. Good people, good-hearted people have to keep an eye on AI so we keep it ethical, safe, and honest. And that's who I'm looking for. People like you that will, and who better than business networkers to keep an eye on AI so that we can make sure that, it's kept safe by all stakeholders, that it's regulated, that it's safe, and that will help us teach and look for guardian angels that can help us keep an eye on AI and become guardian angels for other people. And you, sir, in my mind, are a guardian angel.
Well, man, I appreciate that. And I like to say, if you can spot it, it's because you got it. Come on now.
I love that. I love that.
And also, I think you're a great judge. Hey, by the way, but I forgot. I did a couple years ago, COVID. I was in the hospital 11 days with COVID in ICU. And of course, my wife prayed me out, and I prayed for ABC, Anointed Breakthrough Comeback. And so I came up with this slogan. The breakthrough is to bounce back bigger, better than ever before. And so anyway, and so like I said, we've always enjoyed incredible health, working out and so forth. But during COVID, I got caught, and but again, we made a comeback. And they said, we don't know how this guy did it. He must just have such a determined will. But again, it goes back to what I teach in my 21-day breakthrough challenge. Once I make up my mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But when I ask, how can I? My mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There's a way, and I will find it. And if not, I will invent it. And the great discovery, I believe, is one of the greatest witty inventions that can empower people, again, to be the best version of themselves. I say I aspire to inspire breakthroughs even after I've expired, and the great discovery can do this. I'm going to give you this quick story. I attended a homegoing service celebration this weekend of a good friend of mine who passed from congestive heart failure. And this dear man, he was a minister of the gospel. He was also a powerful network marketer, the first African-American to get a gold jacket with Ambit Energy, $1 million earner. But his son called me to let me know he had passed away. And I was like, man, so I'm giving my condolences and so forth. I said, And I said, you know what? It just came into my heart. I'm going to do something special for you and the family. He said, what is that? I said, I want your dad's message to live on. The scripture says, he being dead yet speaketh. So I'm going to get you a position in the great discovery. And we're going to take some of his trainings and we're going to put it up, some of his free trainings, and then some of the paid trainings, we'll put it up. And then any of the money that comes through is going to go to the family. I said, but they're going to translate it in up to 100 languages, and it'll be promoted in up to 200 countries. And he started crying. And he said, I've got goosebumps, excuse me. I said, I don't believe in goosebumps. I call them God bumps. And I said, but what are you crying for? He said, my dad called me and my brother together a week before he passed. And he said, sons, I've done my best, but there's more to be done that I didn't get a chance to do. I need you to carry on my legacy. And he said, my brother and I, looked at each other afterwards and were like, man, nobody's like my dad. We can't speak like him. We don't have that, He said, like, how can we do this? And he said, when you open up your mouth and said about what you're about to do, he said, it hit me. This is the way for us to continue our dad's legacy. And he said, thank you, Dr. Breakthrough. I was like, man, it's not me. God gave me that thought, the ideal. But if the great discovery hadn't been invented, I wouldn't be able to do that. And so I'm telling folks now, this is going to be one of the greatest ways people like those of us in our 60s and above, you have to be part of this and leave some of your information so that generations to come, your children, grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren can hear the wisdom that you espouse and you speak. But then the courses that you create, now it's going to create income. And when you pass on, this is a willable business that your family can continue on. Man, you get me excited up here.
Okay, now you talked about me being able to spot you. Let me tell you something real quick. Behind me, you can see my Publicity Express background. You see me with Oprah Winfrey right there, okay? Yes. Tony Robbins. Now, I worked with the superstars of media, but now I am working with the future stars of media. So you said, Mike, you can spot talent. Well, you know why? I've networked with 20 years with the top talent in the world. And Dr. Breakthrough, that is why I reached out and asked you if you would give me the privilege of interviewing you. So thank you for that.
Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And the blessing is a lot of those folks that you have there, I've either co-authored books with them or shared the platform. But again, what I love about the Great Discovery, it levels the playing field. If you're a no-name speaker, a no-name whatever, you have an unfair advantage because now you get to get your message out. Other people get to get your message out. And I can give you this story. It was going to cost me, Mike, $2,000 to have my 21-day breakthrough challenge translated into Spanish because I had a lot of Hispanic people saying, man, we love your challenge, but I got friends, they don't speak and understand any English. Please get it translated. But again, it was going to be $2,000, somebody else's face, somebody else's voice, somebody else's energy. My energy doesn't transfer that well, right? And so it wasn't the money so much. It was like, it just wasn't. And then came the Great Discovery. Wow. First of all, it didn't cost $2,000. Number two, it wasn't just my voice, but it's my face, perfect lip sync, my energy. But not only that, now I've got an army of affiliates who are helping me to promote my 21-day breakthrough challenge in over 200 countries. This is more than a dream come true. Yeah. If Napoleon Hill, if Jim Rohn, if Zig Ziglar could have had the ability to leverage this, they would be out of their minds right now. So, but thank you again for all that you have done and are doing. We appreciate you, Mike.
Thanks so much, Dr. Breakthrough. Thanks for joining me.
It's my privilege and pleasure. God bless you, my friend. And by the way, don't forget, I'm too blessed to be depressed, too blessed to be stressed, too glad to be sad, too anointed to be disappointed. I'm too elated to be agitated, too legit to quit, too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, too good to be withstood, and too saved not to be getting paid. Business is booming. Checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose, just like you gonna be when you get started with Mike and me and the Great Discovery.
You, sir, are the one and only Dr. Breakthrough.